It's time for Tiger Talk, presented by Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. Old Chicago, amazing craft beers and food, north of I-70 in Hayes. Old Chicago, share, reconnect, celebrate. Tiger Talk is also brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, providing the best in-home loans to the Tiger community since 1920. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, part of the University of Kansas Health System, and the official physicians for Fort Hays State University Athletics. The certified public accountants of Adams, Brown, Barron, and Ball. Your trusted advisors, providing you with commitment, experience, and integrity. BTI, your John Deere dealer, with locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, Valley Hope of Norton. Get help and find hope. The Taco Shop. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. You've never had it so good. Horizon Appliance and Mattress. TVs, appliances, Traeger grills, and Tempur-Pedic bedding. Open 7 days a week at 1501 East 27th in Hayes. And Eagle Communications. Internet, TV, phone. Eagle Communications. Our community connected.
And a good Monday to you. Welcome into Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock with you, joined by head football coach Chris Brown. We'll talk some Tiger football. Big day on Saturday. Fort Hays State and Pittsburg State in a big win for Fort Hays State, 50-21. As they move to 5-2 and certainly align themselves to make a run at another MIAA championship. We're at Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room, your craft beer authority north of the interstate in Hayes. Old Chicago, serious craft brews, seriously good food. We recorded over the noon hour on Mondays, and of course the playback in the evening. And we certainly invite you to join us next Monday for Tiger Talk at noon at Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. And a big thank you to them once again. Great sponsor and great host for the program. Tigers 50-21 winners over the Pittsburg State Gorillas, and head coach Chris Brown joins us. Pretty good Saturday, and I think you said it after the game, maybe your most complete game of the year, other than maybe one little hiccup, a couple of turnovers, one on a punt return. All three phases really played well, and your most convincing win probably of the season on Saturday.
Yeah, it was. It was a great win for us. Like you said, those two turnovers, they both led to points, for Pitt, and you take away those turnovers. I mean, they score 7 points, and give them short fields. They're going to capitalize on those things and score points off of them. And we get rid of those two things. I think it's a really good game. But overall, I thought special teams played very well. Defense played outstanding, and our offense really started clicking and get some things going. Had some nice plays, some big plays as well. And not so much in the run game, but the things that they were doing, defensively, we took advantage of it, and our kids executed very well.
You can tell after the game you're pleased with your team, but as a coach, there's always something. So I'm sure you won the game. You had a couple of turnovers, led the points. Always good to have a little fire for the next game, even when you have maybe your best game of the year to keep your team focused and humbled and try to work on those things to play the perfect game.
Yeah, it is. There's still a lot of stuff we can do. We still had a couple missed blocks here and there, missed assignments, a couple missed tackles, guys getting out of position a little bit defensively, but those things that you can always work on to make ourselves better, and that's what we talk about as a team. Don't be satisfied with where you're at right now. You got to get better each week and come, prepare a little bit more each week and practice better each week, and hopefully that leads to this week. Hopefully having a good win like that against Pitt, and knowing that we have to win 4 more games to have a share of the conference title and again get a chance at the playoffs. That this is the next most important game, but we have to go 4-0 all the way out, or our season's over.
Offensively, really opened things up, had big plays. I think 7 of them of over, in fact, most of them are over 30 yards, some big scoring plays. And we saw that playbook expanded a little bit, some things that we hadn't seen all year on Saturday.
Yeah, just, we just saw what they were doing. They played a lot of man coverage and, put a guy in motion to see who's manned up on him and, go block that guy and go get yards. And, we did quite a bit of that, on Saturday. So it really wasn't, things that we've had in the playbook we just haven't been able to use, but Pitt gave us that opportunity to use those plays.
Harley Hazlett's such a big weapon. And we saw this last year with the Wildcat package and hadn't used it this year, but really explosive, and he had a big game. But being a former high school quarterback really gives you a lot of options in that Wildcat package.
There is, and there's so much you can do with him. He's so used to running the ball, in those packages like that. That's all he did through high school. He throws a really good ball too. So, you got to use him to your advantage. There's so much he can do with the ball in his hands. He can catch the ball, throw the ball, run the ball. So why not just use him in every aspect that you can and keep teams off balance? And, we did that.
One of the things offensively, you had big plays, but I think you only had 11 third down plays in that game, and you forced Pitt into a lot of third down and longs, and that's been a problem this year on both sides of the ball, but kind of flipped that. And when you had in most of your third downs, they were very third and manageable, and I guess you did a good job with the big plays to avoid getting into too many third down situations.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of them. The big plays helped us out quite a bit, and guys getting extra yards, after the catch, or, even during the carry. Sometimes, we're getting 4 or 5 yards instead of, 1 or 2 and making it a second and long. But, our guys did a good job of putting themselves in situations where we didn't have a lot of third downs. But then our defense, on the other hand, did a great job on first down stuff in the run and second down stuff in the run and putting them in some third and long situations. And we do that, it makes it hard for an offense to really convert on those things. And, I was just proud of the way our team played all day on Saturday.
And you had to be proud of them, how they responded. It was obviously a disappointing loss in Emporia. It was not probably a fun week of practice. You had them outside in very, very miserable weather on Tuesday, but you had to like how your team responded to that challenge with their backs against the wall.
I did, and Pitt, it's Pitt. It's an in-state rival as well, and it's a little bit different for your kids too. And I played there, Coach Harris played there, Coach Ike played there, and I think it just adds a little bit more to it. And the kids want to get that win, and and they want to compete and battle. And our kids did. They came out ready to get after it. They had a whole totally different focus. During pregame, just their attitude during pregame was different, and you could tell it was going to be a physical game. We were going to be mentally tough, physically tough, and we were just going to pin our ears back and get after them.
And now the big challenge is duplicate that and take it on the road Saturday, because you're going to need that same type of effort and same type of physicality and focus and all those things if you hope to come up with another win.
Yeah, we are, and we're going to step it up another notch. That's the first step. Now we got to go one more notch above that and continue and get more physical and mentally tough. As these weeks go on. Hopefully that's just a taste of where we're going to be at. I still think these guys have more in them. I'm going to expect more out of them, and hopefully they expect more out of themselves. But hopefully that's just a start. But I thought we played well, and I thought we played physical, on the front lines as well. But they didn't get to the quarterback too much all year long. You saw how many sacks they had through the season. I don't think they got to our quarterback that many times.
Two times. They had 25 coming in, third best in the country.
And that's that's hats out to our O-line and us as well as coaches getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick. But then our defense getting some pressure on them too, and coming up with 5 picks. You don't get 5 picks unless you're getting some pressure on the quarterback or 5 turnovers,
right.
three picks. But our guys played well, and I'm really proud of them.
Tigers get the win Saturday, 50-21. They're now 5-2 and tied with Pitt State for second place, one game back in Northwest Missouri State in the MIAA standings. We'll talk more about the ball game when we return. We are at Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. We'll record Tiger Talk over the noon hour on Monday, and then playback, of course, at 6 o'clock. Old Chicago, your craft beer authority. They have over 30 rotating draft beers, so stop by today north of the interstate at Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. We will take our first break and talk more about the Tigers' big win over Pittsburg State when we continue on Tiger Talk here on the Tiger Sports Network.
I'm Patty Stahl, broker-owner of Coldwell Banker Executive Realty. We want your dreams to become a reality. Coldwell Banker Executive Realty prides itself in putting you first.
Jacob Mazzara, who had 508 yards and a win in Pittsburgh a couple of years ago, a new career offensive record, throws on first down to Harley Hazlett. Hazlett into the clear at the 35, turns the jet to the 40, breaks a tackle on midfield. Here he goes, up the sideline, 30 to the 20, 15, 10, 5. It is a touchdown on the first play of the game. Harley Hazlett, 75 yards, 6-0 Tigers. I know you have your play scripted before you start every game, but obviously that turned out really well. One play, 75 yards, a touchdown. That's about as well as you could draw it up.
It was. We saw exactly what they were going to do. We saw who was manned up on him, and we went and blocked him. He had a great stiff arm on a guy, and then, our outside receiver did a great job blocking as well, and, still the edge, and Hartley was able to get there, and he was able to outrun everybody. But, yeah, you can't script it any better than that. If we could do that each week, every single play, that'd be great. But, it just doesn't happen that way. But it was a great way to start the game.
He's not the fastest receiver. He's a big guy, but he's got speed, and he seems like he's always just fast enough. Go back to the big catch against Northwest last year. He had some earlier this season. I mean, it's a foot race to whether he gets in, but he finds a way to beat everybody in the end zone when he gets those opportunities.
He wants to get to the end zone, and that's just the way he is. He's a competitor. He fights, and he's going to battle, and he's going to make sure that he gets in there, whether it's a 75-yarder, 20-yarder, it doesn't matter. He's going to find a way to beat those guys to the end zone, and he's elusive enough and strong enough to break tackles and make people miss. So, we got to keep using him as a weapon, because that's really what he is.
Well, he had a great stiff arm in midfield, then won the foot race the rest of the way. And then you're kicking into the wind, the ensuing kickoff. I don't know if it's planned or what, but that worked out perfectly. Nathan Rockwell split the two backs, and I think Lorenzo West had to field it at the 2-yard line. You're able to cover him up right there and really pin Pitt State deep, and then got a huge tackle for loss in the end zone to get the safety, and up 9-0, 2 plays into the game.
Yeah, I'll say that's the way we planned that kick.
It was okay. We'll go with that.
Yep. So, but no, it was supposed to be a deep right, and didn't quite get on it right, and tried to overkick it, and had to find a little spin on it, and the guys weren't quite sure who was going to get the ball, and like you said, we got down there and we almost knocked it out into the end zone, and could have had a big play that way. But then the next play, Malik Young gets the safety in the end zone, and that's a great way to start the game.
How about Malik? 9 tackles, and he's been doing a good job. And I go back to Nathan Shepard. You look last year, he had probably statistically, when you look at the numbers, his worst year in that regard, but yeah, it's because he's double and triple teamed and he's letting other people do it. And Malik's a big guy, but boy, he seemed like he was disruptive and in the backfield and really made things difficult from that very first play on Saturday afternoon.
You can tell he's starting to have some confidence now, and when you first get there and you're trying to learn all these new plays, you kind of play a little bit slower, and you're kind of unsure if you're doing the right job, using your hands right or my feet right, all the technique stuff. And now he's feeling good, and you can just see it by the way he plays. He's a great player, and he's a strong kid. He's very athletic, and it's good to see him. Right now at this point when we really need him to step up to make some plays, he's doing it. So, I'm glad we got him on our side. He's a tremendous athlete as well, and he's a great young man.
Yeah, he was our Tiger Spotlight before the game. Really fun to visit and get to know him a little bit better. You knew Pitt would come back, and boy, sometimes you see games like that. You get a quick early lead, 9-0, 2 plays in, you step off the gas. I don't think your team did that, but Pitt responded. Long scoring drive, 92 yards, 11 plays, and then you mishandle the punt after you get a stop, and all of a sudden you look up. It's 14-12 early in the second quarter, and you're all of a sudden having to come from behind.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy, but they did have that. That's just Pitt with their long drives. They're going to go 11, 12 plays and take a lot of time off the clock and try to wear you down and score touchdowns, and then fumbled the punt, but that's just Beavs just trying to make a play, trying to make things happen. Just get away from it, but can't blame the kid. The kid he's had some great returns and some explosive returns, and you want our guys to keep getting after it and battling and making those things happen. And we are down 14-12, and I just look at our guys and say, hey, we're all right. We're all right. Things are going to be fine. We're going to keep playing the way we've been playing. We're going to get after it, and just eliminate a few mistakes. We're going to be good. And they rallied back and had a heck of a game.
It's kind of a different Pitt team in that regard. I think they prided themselves on their quick strike offense. They score very quickly, but this year their length of drive on their scoring drives is 30 to 40 seconds longer than I think they've averaged the last 20 years. It is a little bit different look with them and can be difficult on a defense with all the motion and all the things they do, and they can just wear you out. But your team did a good job of getting defense getting off the field on Saturday.
Yeah, they did. They did do a lot of different shifts and motions and, a lot of run game and, misdirection stuff as well, and, a few little passes here and there. But I thought our defense played really well. That they kept things in front for the most part and made things happen. A few plays here and there were, plays I thought we should have made, but it's just, guys being in the right position. And, I thought we did that for the most part. And but they just kept playing hard. They kept playing physical. They didn't get gassed. They didn't get winded. But they pinned their ears back when they needed to and got those stops when we needed them to.
You're down 14-12 early in the second. You get the 59-yard touchdown pass to Matt Wendelberger, second big TD in his career against Pitt State. It seemed from that point on, boy, your offense really got in a rhythm and got really comfortable.
Yeah, it did. And that's what we've been waiting on. Our guys to finally get in that rhythm and get on the same page, and the timing was all there. And we had a pretty good week of practice too. For me, it's probably that Tuesday practice I put them out there in that rain. They didn't want to have another bad one, so they did well. But hopefully we can continue to click, and we just got to find things as a coaching staff that what can our kids do really well, and focus on those and get good at those things. And I really felt like we did that this week.
Tigers had the lead at halftime, 26-14 over Pittsburgh State. They would go on to win it 50-21. We'll talk about the second half and about the game, and we'll eventually get to preview of Nebraska-Kearney, which is next up Saturday morning in Kearney. Tiger Talk recorded during the noon hour on Mondays at Old Chicago. So please make your plans to join us next Monday for lunch. Stop by anytime at Old Chicago. Burgers, sandwiches, salads, and distinctive tap room fare. It's Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. Serious craft brews, seriously good food. We'll take a break. Be back with more on the Tiger Sports Network.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here!
It's Hayes' greatest hits.
Love it!
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM. Do you believe in love? Story.
Well, 94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
He's going to throw deep across the middle, looking for Bieberly, makes the catch. Can he break the tackle? Stretches to the 15, down to the 11. First down, Fort Hays State. Tackle made by Josh Hornback, 47 yards. The pass to Lane Bieberly. Another big play by the Fort Hays State defense. They got it first and 10 at the Pitt State 11-yard line. Yeah, big play there from Lane Bieberly. I think he only had 4 catches, but over 100 yards. It seemed like he made big catch after big catch. He had a great diving effort. That one he almost broke free for a touchdown, but he's shifty and hard to defend, and seems like every week getting more and more involved in the offense.
Yeah, that was by far his. I mean, he only had 4 catches, but by far his best game so far. Just the way he caught the ball, the way he played the game. I mean, he was a man on a mission, on Saturday, and he played with a little bit higher intensity than I've ever seen him play before, and that was good to see him. Now, if he can keep doing those things that he did, last week, that kid's gonna be a tremendous ball player and be a big weapon for us. And I love to see the intensity in his eyes and the anger that he played with in this game, and he's got it in there, and he finally let it out.
You talked earlier about on Hazlett's big play, touchdown on the first play, good downfield block. Seems like the receiving core getting better with that downfield blocking, because that's been a trademark of your receiving core really since day one.
Yeah, that's it. That's how Coach McCray coaches them, and teaches them. If you're not going to block, you're not going to catch passes. We're just not going to put you out there. You got to be able to do those things as well, because it's those guys downfield are the ones that really bust a big long run play and let those guys get to the end zone. If it's not for them blocking, none of those plays happen. So, he takes pride in that and making sure that they're ready to go and make sure they're blocking.
You're up 26-14 at the half, and it's always key, that first possession of the third quarter, and you really did it well. 3 and out on defense, and you got the long drive. I know you had to settle for a field goal, but you put points on the board, you expanded the lead. I thought that kind of set the tone for the second half of the game.
It did. Our defense, we talked about that at halftime. They're going to get the ball back. We got to get a stop, and we'll go put points on the board one way or another. And our guys responded and did that. They did exactly what you wanted them to do. Touchdown would have been nice, but points are points, in that situation. And then, we just kept rolling from there, and then great things happened, and defense got some more turnovers, and, offense scored some more points. So, it worked hand in hand.
Yeah, second half, the defense was really, really good. Pitt had 8 possessions. They had the 3 and out, then you got a pick. They had a punt, then fumble. They did get the touchdown after the turnover on a short field, and then an interception to end the game. I mean, you'll take that most games.
Yeah, I'll take that, except for the touchdown after the turnover.
Yeah.
But I'll take our touchdown as well that Doyne had, on his turnover, and then Delgado almost got to the end zone as well to give us a short field to score points, and then the one at the end of the game just sealed the deal. So I mean, and then the fumble recovery too, guys. That's just guys getting after, pinning their ears back, playing hard, playing physical, and making things happen.
No, Wyatt Parker forced that fumble. I think it's he's 5th in the country now. It's 3 this year that he's forced, and Jose right there to pick it up. Almost got it into the end zone, and what another big game for him. 12 tackles, a sack. He's now number 2 in Fort Hays State history in the Division II era in total tackles. We'll have a good chance to break that Saturday up in Kearney. He's just, we talked about him in the past. He's not the biggest guy, but he just is around the ball and knows how to play football.
He does, and he plays physical. Those linemen come out to block him, and, sometimes he'll dip his shoulder and get around him, and sometimes he'll just stone him in the hole, and that's just the way he plays the game. He keeps him off balance, but like we said last week too, he prepares himself for each game and watches a lot of film and studies and knows what's going to happen really before it happens. And when you do those things, you're going to make a lot of plays, and that's just what he does.
Tigers get the win Saturday, 50-21 over Pittsburgh State. They've now won 3 in a row against the Gorillas. That's just the second time ever. By the way, first time in 80 years. It was 36, 37, and 38 the last time Fort Hays State beat Pitt in 3 consecutive years and games, and have won 4 out of 5 against the Gorillas, and really probably should be 5-5. That the infamous blocked field goal, roughing the kicker penalty, but you've had a pretty good run against the Gorillas, and it's funny how you take on teams, and forever that was the mark. That was the team I know you guys are trying to get to with their great success and all their tradition and all their history and just the way they run their program, and it took a while, but it seemed like once you finally beat them, maybe that some of that mystique is gone, and now I just sense your team just loves to play Pitt State because it's going to be hard-fought, physical, and fun football game.
Yep, and that's what we talked about all week. This is going to be a dogfight, from the very first snap to the very last snap. Even with the score being 50-21, it was still a fight, all the way till the end. And our kids are starting to take some pride in that and understand that we need to be the most physical team on the field. And we've at this point have beaten everybody in the conference, so there's no doubt in my mind that we can win every single game. Especially if we keep playing like we played last week and eliminate the turnovers that we had offensively. But if we can build off last week, I think we can beat anybody in the country.
Tiger Talk recorded Mondays over the noon hour at Old Chicago, the place to watch your favorite football games this fall. Great place to watch the Monday night matchup. And while you're in, join their OC Rewards program. It's free to all new members receive a free appetizer for up to $10 after their first transaction. It's at Old Chicago, your pizza and craft beer authority. We'll take another break. More on Tiger Talk right here along the Tiger Sports Network. Hi, everyone. This is Gerard Welbrock inviting you to join us for Tiger Talk. We record it over the noon hours Mondays at Old Chicago, north of the interstate in Hays, and play back at 6 o'clock Monday nights on Tiger Radio Mix 103. You can also catch it on Eagle TV's Channel 14 and 614, Tuesday and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m., and always on HaysPost.com. So join us for Tiger Talk over the noon hour Mondays at Old Chicago. Back to Becerra, looking downfield, going deep for Beaverly. Touchdown! Fort Hays State! He burns Keon Engel. Touchdown Tigers! 2:23 to go, and that's a new record for Jacob Becerra. His 56th career touchdown pass. Yeah, nice mark for Jacob. He was 9 of 17, 231 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and that was the record setter. He now leads in touchdown passes for a career with 56, total yards with 7,083, 592 completions a record, and he's just 27 pass attempts from the school record. That will happen this year as well, and he's worked hard in his career, and obviously he's had great teammates around him, and they all go hand in hand, but hit some milestones on Saturday in a big win for Fort Hays State.
Yeah, it's awesome for him to do those. He's done so much for this program, and he has a lot of wins here as well, and just to see the kid have some success and great things happen for him. He deserves it. He works his tail off every single day, through the summers as well, and getting 7-on-7 and organized, and just the things that he does as a player and as a teammate. He just cares about those guys. He wants to win ball games, and those records to him, it's a team record, and that.
Well, and the most important one is wins, and he'll have a chance to be one of the winningest players. And, in fact, this senior class still could be the winningest senior class if they can finish it strong and surpass what last year's group did. But just good to see him get in a rhythm and the confidence. And I'm not saying he wasn't confident early, but it just seemed like it wasn't the Jacob we were used to, but starting to see that more and more every time out now. And no coincidence the offense is clicking much better because of it.
It is, and it's just guys doing their job too. You know, when you guys aren't doing their job and doing their assignments, it kind of makes it tough on the quarterback. He's expecting you to be in one spot, and you're not there, and you know he's expecting, you know, hey, I got 2 guys there, and there should only be 1 guy there. You know, that kind of puts a quarterback in a damper a little bit, just trying to figure out what's going on. You know, and a lot of it was on our guys just doing their job and doing what they're supposed to. And now that our guys are doing their assignments, and you know, it helps Jacob out, and he knows where everybody's at, and he makes the plays. I mean, he's got a strong arm, and he makes things happen.
Chance Fuller had a good game. We had only one incomplete pass, engineered a scoring drive. Seemed like may have been his best outing of the year so far.
Yeah, it was. You know, he did a good job. Came in, did some great things for us too, and you know, caught a pass too. And if he had a little bit more speed, he might have been able to score. So we'll harass him about that today in the meeting room. But you know, he's getting better. He's getting more comfortable in there as well. And you know, I just think we got to continue doing it just to make sure that he's ready for next year and prepared, because you know, you got to have him ready. You got to get him some game time, some game experience, and you need to do it in big games as well against some great teams. And you know, he stepped in and done a great job.
Yeah, that was a great look. And I think he got penalized right before because he got into the field late. It was not one of his normal, quote, possessions that he's on, but now we see why. You took the penalty and wanted to get him out there. You came back with that play that caught everybody off guard a little bit, and a great throw from Harley. We talked about him being a high school quarterback. You could see it on that play.
Yeah, you could. You know, it was a good job. You know, we just ran the ball with Harley the play before with the same look, and then came back with it the second time and, you know, stopped and then threw it to Chance, and Chance does a good job just kind of sitting back there, being patient, and then opening up and getting downfield and getting open. But that was a great play by both those guys and just our team executing.
You touched on the offensive line earlier, and a lot of the success has to go to them. But I think, you know, they've been beat up. I mean, you basically have 3 starters out right now, and you've put in some freshmen. You have some redshirt freshmen filling in some roles. Just seems like every week they're getting better. And we talked about Pitt, 25 sacks coming into the game. That was 3rd most in the country. They had 2 on Saturday, and Chance probably could have thrown one away to avoid even that one. But, boy, that says a lot, because that was a big concern coming into the game Saturday, was Pitt State's pressure and how that offensive line that's kind of been patched together handle it. And, boy, they seem like they really rose to the occasion. They
really have. You know, they've done a good job, and, you know, they're really in the film room with Coach Bryant studying and understanding what we're trying to do blocking scheme-wise, and you know, and learn their techniques and fundamentals. I mean, they're still young, you know, and that's the good thing, is that they're still young, and then they still got a bright future ahead of them here. And you know, they're getting a lot of experience right now, so that's going to help us out in the future as well. You know, there's a lot of guys that are injured that will be coming back, but you know, with these young guys getting some reps and some guys that have played quite a bit for us now, you know, Toby Godwin, I mean, he's played a lot, you know, a ton. Gober's played a whole bunch for us as well, you know, and you know, last week we had Hayes come in, and then you know, Coral had to play some this week too. So I mean, a lot of guys getting reps that, you know, we didn't necessarily thought we were going to play this year, but they're stepping in and doing a great job and getting the job done for us. And you know, I'm proud of those guys the way they've done it. They've handled it well. They've come in, they battled and competed, and you know, they're getting better each week.
Well, they're going to have to continue to get better, because the Tigers will get another tough challenge Saturday morning. That'll be a challenge in its own right as the Tigers take on the Lopers of Nebraska Kearney. Tiger Talk recorded live at Old Chicago on Mondays during the noon hour. So make your plans to join us next week for lunch, where you can try one of their great pizzas with dough made fresh daily. It's at Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room north of the interstate in Hayes. We'll take another break and preview the Lopers of Nebraska Kearney when we come back right here on the Tiger Sports Network.
As you plan for your business in 2018, advertising should be an important part of your growth strategy. Digital marketing puts your business in front of the right customers online. Advertising with the Hayes Post ensures your message will be viewed 1.5 million times a month, including 375,000 unique views a week. Are you ready to grow your business? Advertise with us today. It's affordable and it works. Call us today at 785-628-0467. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Play action, Roderick, the throw, he's hit, the ball's free, scooped up by the Tigers, back the other way, Jose Delgado to the 20, to the 10, stumbles 5, and he's down to the 2. Jose Delgado picked it up after Wyatt Parker stripped it away from Roderick, and another big defensive play, a 3rd turnover for Pitt State. The Tigers have it 1st and goal. Yeah, there was a big fumble recovery by Jose Delgado. Couldn't quite get it into the end zone. It was awfully close, kind of stumbled at the 10, but a big play and just showed his athleticism. You mentioned Doyin Jabobu got a pick six late in the game to kind of seal it, put the nail on the coffin, so to speak. But one thing your defense is starting to do now, big plays. I mean, they're obviously been solid all year, but now getting some big plays. 3 interceptions, leading team for picks in the conference. Obviously, those are momentum, game-changing plays, and they're getting pretty good at it.
Yeah, they are. And that just comes with pressure on the quarterback, getting him out of rhythm and getting some pressure on him, and our guys pinning their ears back and playing. I think everybody's starting to feel comfortable now and confident in what they were doing. And before it was just a little bit of confidence. The guys not being sure. Exactly what they're supposed to do and their abilities. But we got some good football players out there, some really good football players, and they just got to play with that confidence, week in and week out, and know that they get the job done, and they're getting better each week. And but those turnovers are huge for you.
All right, Saturday, Nebraska-Kearney, an 11 a.m. kick. Let's start with that. I mean, you see it obviously in Division I football, a lot of 11 a.m. kicks. This will be something new for you guys. Obviously, a much earlier start to the day. It's on the road, and obviously that's a big challenge just in that fact alone, starting at 11 a.m.
It is, but we can't make that an excuse. We lift every morning on Monday through Thursday at 6 a.m. or 7 o'clock, and our guys are up at that time, so we can't make that an excuse. We just got to get up and get ready to go to work. We're going to do chapel at 6:40, pregame meal at 7 o'clock, and get to the stadium about 8:30. And it is what it is. You better wake up and get ready to go and get ready to get after it and get ready to battle, because we're not going to let that be an excuse.
Well, Kearney is a good football team. You kind of saw it last year. It was a physical game, and that final score was a little bit misleading. And now they're backing it up and getting wins. 4 wins already. That's the most since they've joined the MIAA. And, boy, you watch them. Obvious that they are much, much improved. I mean, they look like a legitimate MIAA team now.
Yeah, they do. Offensively they look a lot like Pitt with the option game that they're doing. Getting extra blockers out there as well, for the quarterback who runs well. Tailbacks are very dynamic, and, they got a really big wide receiver. I think he used to play basketball
there.
He
did, yes, Trey Lansman.
Throwing it to him.
Thought we were done with him.
I know, and he goes up and gets it, and, they're good. And then defensively, same way. They got some big guys up front that move very well. Linebackers, pursue well and plug the holes very well in their secondary. They're all over you and smother you. So, it is going to be a tough battle. They've improved tremendously. The last couple of years, Coach Lynn's done a great job of getting those guys ready, and they're believing in themselves right now, and they're playing hard. And you can see it on film. That's why they have 4 wins right now.
Second fewest points allowed and the second fewest yards allowed in the MIAA this year. Great linebacking core. They're big up front. What's making that defense so good?
Their D-line. They do a good job of keeping blockers off the linebackers and, getting some pressure on the quarterback in passing situations. And, and they move around quite a bit, with slants and things like that. They're a tough group. They don't do a lot, but they do enough to kind of keep you off balance. And you can tell that they know what their job is, they know their assignment, and they're going to do it to the best of their ability, and they're going to do it fast, and that's what they do. And
they lead the conference in rushing, I think top 10 in the country. And obviously they like to run the option and the things they do, but obviously very good at it. And an offensive line that's pretty much intact from a year ago. They've got all those same guys back, and that always makes a big difference, that continuity.
Yeah, it is. And they do a good job of outnumbering you, too, to one side or the other with bringing more blockers over than you have defenders. So you're going to find a way to get another body over there and try to get things stopped. But, their quarterback's efficient. He does what he's supposed to do, and he makes the throws he needs to make to keep you off balance, in the past game. So, we're going to have our hands full. They're a good football team, and they're much improved.
You mentioned Alex McGinnis, a quarterback, big, strong guy, really good, had a good job of running the ball against Northwest Missouri State on Saturday, and certainly his older brother, Derek, played for Washburn for a few years. He was a good quarterback, and his little brother, I say little, his younger brother, kind of filling in that mold and is really, really elevated here this year, has kind of stepped it to another level. He's right up there with the best in the MIAA.
He is. He kind of reminds you of his brother and Roderick, kind of combined. Yeah. He runs well. He's fast. He's strong when he runs with the ball too. And you just can't wrap up tackling him. You're going to drive your feet and run through him because he is a strong young man. And we got our hands full. And, with their whole team. And he's very elusive with the ball as well. And he pitches it when he needs to pitch it. But if it's 3rd and short, 4th and short, he's going to put his head down and try to get that first down. So we got to be ready for him.
And they're tired of losing to the Tigers. And we talked about you had a rivalry game in Pitt State. You've got Emporia, you got Washburn. For Nebraska Kearney, you're it. I mean, you're the MIAA rival, and with the success you've had, they want to knock the Tigers down a peg and derail all the postseason hopes and things that you're trying to do in conference championships. So, in some ways, this may be their Super Bowl on Saturday.
Yeah, it is. It's just going to be a big game for them. I mean, they're going to want to win this ball game just like we need to win this ball game, and they're trying to take this step, to be top in this conference too. And I think they're getting really close. I mean, they play with confidence right now. They play hard. They play physical, and they're a totally different team than what they were 3 years ago. Coach Lynn's done a good job. Even last year getting these guys more prepared, and they played better last year than this year. You can see the change and the confidence, and they know they can win ball games.
All right, well, it should be fun. An 11 a.m. kick from up in Kearney. We'll be on the air at 10 with the Auto World pregame show. Coach, as always, appreciate the time. Have a great week of practice, and we'll see you bright and early Saturday up in Kearney.
Yes, sir. Thanks, George.
There you go. That's head coach Chris Brown. The Tigers and the Lopers Saturday morning. Some morning football from Kearney in a big game for both schools. And, of course, a reminder, you can catch the video replay of Tiger Talk every Tuesday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Eagle Cable Channel 14 and 614. You can always watch it online at hayspost.com. All you have to do is hover over that Eagle TV icon at the top left and click on Tiger Talk. And, of course, the playback on Monday nights on Tiger Radio Mix 103. And make your plans to join us next Monday. We record it over the noon hour at Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. Tiger Talk presented, as we said, by Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. They're your craft beer authority. Old Chicago, north of the interstate at Hayes. Serious craft brews, seriously good food. Tiger Talk also brought to you by the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, The Taco Shop, Adams Brown, Barron and Ball, Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, BTI, Horizon Appliance and Mattress, Valley Hope of Norton, and Eagle Communications. Hey, we hope you can make the trip up to Kearney to watch the Tigers and the Lopers. Again, it kicks at 11. If you can't, you can, of course, join us on the Tiger Sports Network. We'll be on the air at 10 with the Auto World pregame show. Should be a good one from Kearney between the Tigers and the Lopers. That's going to wrap up the program. For Coach Chris Brown, this is Gerard Wellbrock. Have a great rest of your Monday.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that, we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at hayspost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, real country. 99 KZ Country.